Hello, my name is Tisa Partridge, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pink Lotus Project Nebraska. Pink Lotus is a survivorship program that takes a holistic approach to healing the mind, the body, and the soul. If you're diagnosed with cancer and in need of holistic support, services, or referrals, contact Pink Lotuses at the information below. And remember, you are not alone, and together we fight.
All right. Welcome to Health, Wealth, and Relationships
with Tisa
and Grant.
Good morning.
Good morning. And today we're going to talk about something that's very dear to my heart. And I have also been added to the board of this great organization. So we're going to talk about Pink Lotus Project Nebraska. Yay. With the founder and owner and executive director, Ms. Tisa Partridge.
Hello. And again, welcome to Health, Wealth, and Relationships with Tisa and Grant. So today we're focusing on Pink Lotus Project Nebraska. This is the organization that I founded in 2017. So I'm happy to be the guest host and speaker, as well as the presenting person today for our organization. Yes, Grant has just been added to our board, and we had a couple other new board members. So welcome to Pink Lotus Project Nebraska officially.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I've been working with you closely for the last year, so I've got a very behind-the-scenes look at everything. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very impressed at how you have organized and really just inspired this organization at a very high level. But what I haven't really totally got into, I totally understand, it's about what inspired you to create this organization and why has this mission become so personal for you?
Yeah. So diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012, invasive ductal carcinoma, which is the most common breast cancer for women. I was 49 years old. At that time, I just had two sons. One had just graduated from high school. One was just starting college. Single mom. And at that time, I don't even think I was working, but got the diagnosis. I had the breast cancer. And again, for me, for those who have not heard my story before, this was a charge from God for me to start this. So I wasn't surprised when I got breast cancer. I had said to family members years ago that I'd probably be somebody else getting breast cancer in our family. We had an aunt die, and I said, watch it be me. I don't know why I said that, but it was just basically the Lord was telling me, I got an assignment for you. And so when I did get breast cancer, I knew that was my assignment. So not so shocking, but it was just, now, Lord, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do with it? So 2012, was diagnosed. And at that time, only My Sister's Keepers was available in terms of support for African-American women. Project Pink was also out there, which I joined both groups. Just looking for whatever support was out there in terms of a support group that you can talk to through it, support to get referrals, just any kind of support with assistance. At that time, I wasn't working, so I needed a little financial assistance. And so I'm looking around, and my background is social work, so I was real good about digging up resources. So joined My Sister's Keepers for the emotional support, joined Project Pink also for the emotional support, but for more financial assistance. And they were out there doing things that were just making survivors feel good. So that's what I needed at the time. And so that's the route I took. I was with My Sister's Keepers until 2016 when Jackie Hill passed. Worked real closely with her and really just was trying to make it a little more accessible to younger women at that time. They were older group of women. And they were at least 10 to 15 years older and didn't really quite go through the same things as I did in terms of treatment, and didn't really have information for me in terms of menopause and how this was going to affect my life long term. So when Jackie passed in 2016, again, the Lord put on my heart to go ahead and start Pink Lotus. It's filling in the gaps of all those questions that I had and I wanted them to do. It just needed to be more resources and information out there. I had so many questions, they couldn't even answer the questions, but I had to create what was missing. And so I started Pink Lotus in 2017. So that's kind of how it evolved. Wow. And really, to bring the statistic down. Because when I joined My Sister's Keeper, she told me that the statistics were dying at that time 40% more than any culture from breast cancer. And I was like, why? That's a big number, right? That's not a small statistic. That's like saying 10%, 25%. 40% is like almost half, right? And now it's 43%. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, how can we bring that number down? What can we do to change that statistic? And so I started Pink Lotus, and just to teach people healthy living.
Well, I'm glad you have, because there's an obvious gap somewhere, because in a population of ours, where 13% of the population, you're saying we're dying 40% more. That's a big gap.
Yeah, we get diagnosed the same, though. Isn't that crazy? We get it about the same. So we don't get it more. We're just dying more. What's wrong with that?
Let that sink in.
We ain't getting it more. Right. We're dying. We're dying more. They're surviving, basically. We're not surviving this disease. So, Pink Lotus is about prevention and really just learning how can we survive? How can we survive more healthy? And we already know Black people bleed in all disparities, and we just don't have a healthy lifestyle, healthy ways of living. And so we're just here to introduce holistic living to people, and just mind, body, and spirit, taking care of the total person.
Well, you've taken this on as a passion, and you've taken. I mean, you are the cheerleader behind. Like, look, we're going to change this number specifically right here in the Omaha area and expand hopefully across the nation, because this is a nationwide statistics. So it's not just in Omaha that it's happening, but it's a big problem. Now you've got some programs that you have that I think are very unique to what you do. You've evolved over the years. I'm going to play a short clip. Then I want you to just walk us through some of these programs that you have at Pink Lotus.
Sure.
Project Nebraska.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory.
The Pink Lotus Project Nebraska offers holistic wellness workshops, sisterhood support groups, and healing essentials programs. Their approach emphasizes plant-based nutrition, mindfulness, physical activity, and spiritual guidance, including the power of prayer. Through education, community connection, and culturally relevant care, they empower women to face breast cancer with resilience and hope.
I love that clip. Yes. So that covers everything, So we have a support group that meets once a month. And we meet on the fourth Wednesday of each month. Right now, we're meeting at the IBBG Black Girl office space on 24th Street. It's kind of more centrally located for us. And starts at 6:00. We always feed each other, but then we just kind of catch up on each other. But we're also an active group that does stuff together. We're kind of our own little club. It's a club we didn't ever want to be in, but we are definitely a sisterhood, and we try to be there for each other. Hopefully and we've been all really good. I think the support group really works as a deterrent for getting a reoccurrence. I think people need to be connected. We need to be able to check in with each other. Every time one of us has a mammogram, we need to be able to say that prayer, claim that victory, and have that support. Because once you're done with treatment, people kind of going back to their ways and going back to their lives and stuff. But we live it every day, and we don't want a reoccurrence. So we get with each other to reduce that fear, to really claim our victory, and keep pushing each other as survivors. Nice sisterhood.
Well, I think you've gotten a lot of recognition. I've seen you on the news, the nightly news, every time you're doing some of these events that are coming on, you're featured. You've got a lot of people that are behind you and want you to continue to grow. Just talk to me more about, like, you got Tai Chi in there, you got stretching, you got mindfulness, you got meditation. Is everybody like into that? Is that something that's like a big fan favorite?
No, it isn't a fan favorite. And just like changing mindsets, we're just slowly changing the perception of health, right? We're just slowly trying to get people to be well. And those things, and when you say Tai Chi and mindfulness and all that kind of stuff, that's holistic living. That's mind, body, and spirit. We don't just worry about the cancer. We can't do nothing about the cancer. We're not going to get it back. And we're doing these things as prevention methods, being able to learn how to meditate and deal with stress. As we talked about on health, wealth, and relationships, we have to learn to manage the stress. And so we're teaching people how to manage stress, teaching people how to age gracefully, which means you got to move. And you got to eat right, and you got to stretch. And so people don't think about that stuff until you're there. And it's just like, I can't move. But if we can remind people to keep yourself flexible and keep your mind free of stress, and just teach you coping skills of life. That's kind of what we're doing. So,
and you've got a lot of resources available, community partnerships that you've built out. We go to the website, we build out the website. You've got so many different other organizations that help to build out the entire ecosystem. So when someone comes into your program, they're not left there by themselves.
Absolutely not. And the partnerships are big. You know, we're not living in a bubble here over at Pink Lotus. We are about collaboration and partnerships with all the community. We're trying to get the health the health ministries in the churches connected with Pink Lotus. We're trying to get the urban leagues of Nebraska connected with us, and so we're doing all kind of community collaborations just to kind of bring all the information to you more often, because the more you hear it, and then try to get you to start practicing things. So we're moving towards information to practicing those information, which moves into changing the lifestyle, right? So once you start doing stuff, it becomes a habit. Just like all these bad habits we built over the years, we got to break them. But it's this continuous information, doing it, putting it into action. And just trying things out, you know, this slowly moves the needle to help. Baby steps. We always talk about baby steps to better health.
Big time baby steps, but they're good steps to take. And you mentioned that you're doing some things, especially like with area churches, like Pilgrim's Church, right? You have your pancake feed. If you don't mind, can we play a clip that was shown on the news, I think just this past year?
Sure. So we're going to show a clip of we have two major fundraisers a year. And the first one is the Pink Pancake Feed we have in October. It's going to be October 3rd this year. Quick plug. And then we have a Strut for the Cure, but this is about our Pink Pancake Feed annual event.
Wow. So I'm very happy about this. I'm going to make it bigger so we can all see and really enjoy
pancakes, cancer awareness, and free health screenings. It's all part of the annual Pink Lotus Project Pancake Feed. It's an effort to raise awareness and funds for holistic breast cancer support services. The group's mission is focused on uplifting, empowering, and supporting women facing breast cancer. The event doesn't serve just any old pancake. These are strawberry pancakes, so they have a natural pink hue to them. Their founder and CEO says it just sort of caught on.
I'm a 13-year breast cancer survivor, and really when I started Pink Lotus, I just wanted something that sounded catchy to do for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I thought, let's do pink pancakes. It kind of caught on, and so we just coupled that with a health fair, so it's just not having pink pancakes, but we also make sure we have a free screening here for the community.
This is the 7th annual Pancake Feed. In addition to the pancakes, there was also a raffle for guests to participate in and free health screenings.
Yeah, so that's coming up. Man, it's already July.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's coming up in October. So in a couple of months, we're already gearing up for the 8th annual Pink Pancake Feed. It's a Pink Pancake Feed and health fair. So we do free screening. So we want to talk that up right now, just to let you know, if you're not connected to a primary care, this is an opportunity for you to have some free screening. But also Charles Drew is there to hook you up with a primary care physician. And one of their main missions is to get everybody a primary care physician, get you plugged into the system. So when you go in, you have some quantity of some consistency in care by seeing a primary care person, the same person who will know you, get to know you, and get to know your body, so they can make the best referral systems and referral sources for you going forward.
Is it just for breast cancer survivors, or is it for anybody cancer, or any kind of screening, or is it very specific?
Oh, it's just healthcare screening. We do all screenings. We do cancer screenings. We do diabetes. We'll check all your numbers, right? You'll check your blood pressure. We'll check your sugar levels. We'll check your screening levels. They even got STDs. Sometimes we'll be able to check for STDs. So anything that if you just don't go to the doctor, you just need a check, just a baseline check, come out and get that free screening. It's totally free. Get your pancakes after your screening, because we don't want you to spike your sugar because we're serving you syrup. But go ahead and come on out October 3rd. Right now, I don't know if I should say the location. A location to be determined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we still got
but we
time.
try to work with our local churches on this event because, again, we're trying to hit the community. And so we got a church on every corner, do we not? And so we try to make sure that it's a very convenient spot for anybody to come and get the free screening. You don't have to go out west. You ain't got to take a bus. You can just walk on down to the church and get your free screening.
No, I think that's very important. I saw some things like that at Miller Park this past year in the summer for Freedomtainment, and I love to see what Pink Lotus, the Project Nebraska, has been doing for just 7 years.
Yeah, this will be the 7 years for the pancake feed.
Wow,
yeah, that was the first event I came up with. It was it's like October. It's pink. Let's do pink pancakes. And I don't know why I thought pancakes, just because those pink pancakes kind of rolled off my thing, and I knew my cousin could cook them. And it's
also Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's all about the pink, And so just to kind of bring people in, absolutely. So October 3rd, save the date.
Save the date, and you just had an event just this past week, I think the very end of June, happened at the Metro Community College of Advanced Manufacturing, the CAM building. You want to show a clip? Wait a minute. Can we show a clip?
Sure.
Can we show a clip of that?
It was a good experience. I thought
it was awesome.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
I love that video. That was a little more featuring me, but I love the video. So Strut for the Cure. Strut for the Cure. This is our 6th annual Strut for the Cure. I created Strut for the Cure, mainly, and this is kind of selfish reason. My 14 years of being breast cancer free, I've lost a lot of people. We've lost maybe 10 women. And the 9 years we've been, it's almost like a woman a year. We lose somebody a year. And that's kind of heartbreaking. It's, it just reminds me of the statistic that we're dying, right? So I created the Strut for the Cure for one, to celebrate life. It was just a celebration of life. I said, I have to balance all these passings. Grief is real, right?
Yes,
Grief it's really, it takes a toll on your soul. And so I had to start balancing out, losing all these women every year. It's like, okay, I got to do something to celebrate the life, celebrate the ones that are here, keep me going and motivated to stay alive and to keep pushing others. And so I used to participate in the Omaha Fashion Week, and they had a survivors night. And I don't think I told this story too, but they had a survivors night back in the day where one day all kind of cancer survivors got to get pampered. We got our face done, hair done, and you got to walk the runway at Omaha Design Center. That's the first place. Love that place. We're going to try to step up to that. But Omaha Design Center, you just walk back and forth, and they give you a rose. You walk back and forth again. It wasn't nothing. We didn't say nothing. We didn't do nothing. We just waved. Breast cancer survivors, yeah, and we just got like our 2 seconds of fame. Right. That made us feel so good, even though we took all day to get prepped for like literally 5 minutes. We walked and got a flyer and we walked back. But it was just to say, here are survivors. They are alive. They are still encouraged. Trying to encourage the community to stay alive. So it made an impression on me. And so about 3 years ago, they stopped doing it, and I was like, what? Well, no 3 seconds of fame. No, really celebrating survivorship. And so I don't know what happened to it, but it's gone. And so before they even gone, I just piggybacked off of it and started the Strut. And I opened it up again to all cancer survivors, which our mission has also opened up to. So even before our mission had opened up to, I had already started opening up this particular event because all cancer survivors need to celebrate their survivorship. They need to celebrate still being here and doing things and really patting yourself on the back, because for me, it's doing what I need to do to stay alive and to stay cancer free. Yeah. So it's like, good for me. I'm still alive. I'm still here. And I want all survivors to feel that and continue to fight the fight, because it ain't over till it's over. We don't ever want to get it back. And we don't want to be that statistic that says, yeah, it came back and it came back with a vengeance. You always hear about somebody having cancer at one point and it coming back with a vengeance. We are trying not to be those people. And so I'm trying to encourage survivors and keep them alive. And so they get the biggest thrill out of this show. And so if I can continue to encourage them, then I'm going to continue to have this show. It's good for the community too. Yeah, anybody who's going through treatment or anybody who's been through it really understands where we're at. But it's always open to survivors to come and celebrate your victory.
I have seen it where you got family members, they're coming out because it affects not just the individual with cancer, but your entire community or your family, people that you hang around with, and they all came out. It was just really, really good. To your point, it's just you just bring them to a higher level, higher level of elevation. Another big shout out to one of our big partners there was the Rib Shack, and he just had Malcolm
Robbins. Yes, told his story. I was hearing it in the back, but yeah, he has a story. Yeah, right. And we're a survivorship organization. So he is a survivor. His was a heart disease. But, we talk about that on Health, Wealth, Relationship. Yeah. All of these health disparities can really be minimized and maybe even prevented with proper lifestyle, right? With holistic living, with healthy lifestyle habits, right? And so as much as he had a heart condition, sometimes you're born with heart conditions, but sometimes I think if we talk to Malcolm, he might say that maybe his lifestyle, might have contributed to the heart disease. You never know, because you could definitely do some things in your lifestyle
make changes. But what I got out of his story was his story of resilience.
Yeah.
He had the will. He was told by the physicians, the clinicians, telling him, like, you know what, Malcolm, you might as well just pack it in. And he just wasn't accepting that as an answer. Like, that's not my final answer. He had to do what he had to do to make changes in his life, move from St. Louis all the way to Omaha to try to follow that path. This was like a 2-3 year journey.
Yeah, because when you're on a list for a heart, a kidney, you have to be there when it happens.
When it happens.
Like, because they're taking it literally from another person. You got to deal it while it's fresh out of a body and to put it into a body. So he had to move, because when that heart's available, and literally he has a video of, like, when he got this heart, he said it was like 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
He was in the parking lot. He wheeled his little self around with his little oxygen.
He had a trailer that he
parked in the parking lot
for 2 years.
2 years.
And he did that in January. It was cold on that walk.
Right. And it came in the middle of the night, because again, somebody must have just passed or whatever. Middle of the night, 10:30, like, come get your heart. And he was like, I'm here, but he had to move. You have to be physically. If he would have had to come from St. Louis, he would have missed the window of transition from one. The heart wouldn't have been good. It might not, because you got to get it in. So he had a great story. It came across very well accepted. So if you didn't hear it, maybe we'll get some clips of.
We have a clip. We'll actually put that out there pretty soon.
Yeah, we're gonna
see that
it's about
a 20-minute clip that he talks about this. I encourage anyone to listen into this, no matter what you're going through, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's relationship, the perseverance. I want you to really hear the perseverance of what he had to do, the sacrifices he had to make, not only himself but his family, to get into this point. And they got good food. Just put it out there, because the food was really good. I want to thank Miss Jackie for doing all this she did.
Thank you, Miss Jackie. Thank you, Malcolm. Shout out to the Rib Shack. We're going to become more community partners with them too. They have always been involved with the community and other organizations in St. Louis. And so Jackie and I are going to get together. We're going to keep this party going in terms of our relationship. Again, community partners are real important. If you ever want a community partner with Pink Lotus, just give me a shout out, give me a DM, whatever. However, volunteers, if you know people that donate, if you know people we can connect it to with some money, all of that, we are always up.
I want to ask you this. You have a strong foundation and relationship with Nebraska medicine. They always support, especially for the stress for the cure. Tell us about that history.
Yeah, well, it just really started, I think. Our initial contact was to Shonda Ross, who's on the board. And Shonda is the community outreach person. Shonda's also a friend of mine. And so again, community relations, so people being from here, just knowing what I was doing and asking her to be on the board, she kind of brought in her team, which is Nebraska Medicine. Shonda's been a nurse with Nebraska Medicine for years and years and years. And then she got promoted to the community outreach and engagement position. And as soon as she did, I was like, Shonda, we need to go ahead and hook up. So I called her and really she was just like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the connection. So organically and old friends, we just hooked it up.
I think you did a great job. Matter of fact, since we're talking about the board, let's talk about your board members. Who's on the board? What do they?
Well, Sister Aubrey Arduna is on our board, and shout out to Sister Aubrey Arduna. She used to run the Clarkson School of Medicine, and it still sits on our board, I think. So, but she's retired, and she's been with me for a whole 9 years, and I love her to death, and I want to continue to lift her up and shout her out because she's like I think my first board member.
Wow!
So and she's been there. She's been there plugging out ever since. Giving me some credibility over the years, really, because you have to have some credibility over your board. And Shonda has joined since, and we've got a couple of new members. Dr. Juan Santa Maria was on. He did his 3 years off the board. Family reasons. He's got new babies, and he got like a toddler and a new baby.
Was he with Nebraska? Or was he?
He's also in Nebraska Medicine. He's an oncology surgeon. So I had to step down, but we've had some good people on the board. I don't want to speak past people, but Jessica Marino's on the board now. She works with Equip, very engaged with other nonprofits, a real big helpful source. She's going to be she always has been a great. She ran an auction at the fashion show. And so if you were at the fashion show, you might have got to meet Jessica.
And Tony,
Tony, Miss Antoinette White. Tony is joined our board as a survivor. I always want to have other survivors on the board. So Tony comes from a big call center background history. But she's retiring now too and stepping into more important roles of Pink Lotus. Currently, just running the support group, making sure that our topics are hit. You know, that whole piece is a whole beast in itself, and so that's one of our main programs is our support groups. And so she's over the support group now. And filling in as a secretary on the board.
And you've had Dewan on your board, and she had also a history with Malcolm.
She did. Yeah. Dewan's one of our advisors. She's on our advisory team now. So yeah, and she helped Malcolm. Me and Dewan both met in the social work field. I was with CPS at the time, and so Dewan was a family support worker, and so we met back in the day, and we have been besties ever since. But she has that social work background as well, so she did help Malcolm get clicked in. And then we're adding Marilyn Sims. So Marilyn Sims is another friend of ours from childhood. We went to elementary school with her or whatever. A class of 81, shout out. We were in Jamaica and then organically started talking about the organization. And she's looking for somebody to help because she's going to be helping us. And, and we welcome Marilyn Sims onto our board as our newest member.
Now, and I want to say I joined the board just recently. However, I've been working with the organization for a little bit, and I was able to bring in the relationship with CHI, which we've learned so much more about what they have for mental health. They had big oncology program. Matter of fact, you were doing some of your services there, right?
Yeah, I got my oncology, all of my treatment at CHI at the time. But at the time, they were all together under an Allegiant umbrella. They have since split. And so we're trying to get back, although we with CHI and their main focus is mental health, we are trying to get back in now that they've split to the oncology department. So we're trying to rebuild that relationship.
We're going to have a big shout out to Anthony Ashby for all that he does. And his second time that they've stepped up and become a sponsor for the Stretch for the Cure. We really encourage that. We encourage all healthcare organizations, whether you're a provider, you could also be a medical device firm, you could be anything included within that whole oncology realm. And we want to see this grow and really step up. Now, you've got a vision that you've been talking about for a significant amount of time that I think we really need to hone in on.
Yeah, we're more than a support group. We're an organization, right? So we're about holistic living and really teaching the community. Yes, our support group's focusing on the individual cancer survivors, and we love that connection that we have. But in order to spread holistic living to the community, the vision is to open up a holistic house of healing. I need a one-stop shop where, first of all cancer survivors can come to for support. Like instead of just a website, they can physically come in and say, I just got diagnosed. What do y'all offer? What are y'all about? Because it's a shock and people want to know right away, what do I do? Right. And so
we've got a presentation here that you can walk us through.
Sure.
That to help us explain what this whole vision is about.
So the Holistic House of Healing. So this just kind of covers our mission, our vision. So our mission is obviously to continue to provide holistic support services and referrals to cancer patients, right? With the focus still on breast cancer, because we are still working on that statistic and trying to bring that number down. And also prostate cancer is catching up in terms of African-American men leading the way and becoming really a disparity in terms of prostate cancer. But our mission is to continue that mission, but also open up this one-stop shop. And this is my vision that I had in my head of the Holistic House of Healing. It was called a Pink Palace at one point, but old school. I don't want it to look clinical. I want it to be a house. So when you walk into this house, there's a whole vibe in terms of wellness, and it's going to smell good, and there's going to be sounds of nature. It's going to be some very holistic sounds going on. So all of your senses will be just automatically. So as soon as you walk up to our porch, it's going to be very welcoming. It's going to have plants all over the place. It's going to be like, oh, I want to come in there. But the porch is very important just for a gathering and sitting and talking and having very natural, organic places to meet and talk. And just, you can meet somebody right on the porch and say, have a seat and just have a good organic conversation without even entering the house. But when you enter the house, you're going to notice a very Zen-like entrance. Everything is Zen, everything's balanced, everything is feng shui, everything is all in balance. So life is about balance. It's about moderation and balance. And so you'll notice that right away. This house is going to have, an office space for me. We want you to be able to come in this house and set a wellness plan. So when you first come in, I'm like, come on into my cute office. Let's sit down. And first, we're just going to talk about you. I want you to tell me about you, what have you been through in terms of your life? So I know your life stresses, kind of your history, because all of that plays a part into your health, right? If you lost anybody recently, if there's any recent grief, all of that plays a part into your total health, which is going to play a part into your health plan. So it's just a place to sit down and chit chat, get to know each other, to start your wellness plan. When we go to the doctor, nobody sets a wellness plan. Our system is very reactive set up. So it's come in, what's wrong with you? How can I help what's wrong with you? Instead of what's wrong with you? How can I get you better and keep you well?
Right.
It's a whole different conversation and perspective. So we want to set a wellness plan. We want to have a dining area. So we meet monthly. We want to have a place where we eat monthly. So we want to have we want to have a nice space to sit down. It's a lot to be said as sitting down at a table. I grew up in a family where we sat out every day at 5:30, ate with my family. My mother had my daddy's dinner ready when he got home from work. And so the communion and the communication that goes on in around a table is unmatched. And so as we sit around and break bread together, we start to loosen up and just kind of get into each other. So we want to have a lovely place to have our dining area. We also want to have a space in this house to learn. And so learning is everything, right? It's a bunch of learning and communication that needs to be done. So we want to learn about everything, healthy eating, cooking demonstrations. So we want to have a space where we can meet and have speakers come in and have other workshops that we can have stuff sit around, but have computer space to sit, space to commune and learn. And I want a house setting. So this is why I have living room in here. The last thing we want to do as cancer patients is come back into a clinical setting.
Right.
We go to the doctor, even when we go to that once a year visit at oncology, we got to get our boobs matched. We got to get our mammograms. And we're scared. And it's very clinical and very this is where I got my news that I had cancer. And so all of those memories are attached to a clinical type setting. I want my house to be a holistic house of healing. And so you're going to feel like at home. You're going to feel like grabbing a pillow, sitting on the floor. Let's get into this conversation. If you just got diagnosed, I'm going to be come on here. You're going to be get the old school, sit on the couch, lay back. Relax. Oh my God, I just got diagnosed. But just the whole vibe is going to be very welcoming, very open, and comfortable. We want to be comfortable. We're also going to have a meditation room or a prayer room. We need to create a quiet space. This life is life and we just want a space where even if you have to work, even if you have to go home to kids, maybe you can stop by the holistic house, go into the quiet room, do some deep breathing.
We all need that.
Do some meditation, de-stress. It's like before you transition from work to kids,
right?
Get your woosah on. So really, it's a break. And it's in a practice. Before you go from one stress to the next, de-stress from this, build up for this. And it's a transition.
That's about getting your strength right.
Yeah. And at night, again, practice that again when let it go at night so you can sleep well. So a quiet room, a meditation room is always going to be necessary. This is
journaling.
Yeah. So a bedroom.
Yeah.
So I want a bedroom where you can come journal, where you can actually take a nap. When you go through radiation, it drains your energy. So one of the side effects of radiation is fatigue. And so I wanted to create a space. Again, if you just got out of radiation treatment, you're already tired. You already had your fourth shot for the week because it builds as you get a shot. So when you take radiation, you take it every day, 5 days a week. Then you take the weekends off. But every day you're going for a 15-minute shot of radiation, 15-minute shot of radiation to that source. But as it's shooting you, it drains you. And so day 2 or 3, you might be like, I ain't even got no energy to go to work. So a space to come and take a nap is truly needed. It is. It's like you can take the nap room we'll have it checked out or whatever. Or if you just need a quiet space and your brain can't shut off, you need a quiet place to journal. It's going to be a desk in there. Right here is like somewhere you can journal, take a nap, just kind of again center yourself before you need to move on to the next stage. But even if you need to do that every day, it's a space. How many spaces you can go take a nap?
But you're thinking through the whole experience.
Yeah, this is the experience. I know.
Experience, like, hey, I know what
you need. Yes.
I like that.
Yes, you definitely need to take a nap. And a salon. So obviously, when you have breast cancer, we're talking about our girls, right? We're talking about imaging. We're talking about losing your hair through chemo. So it's a real mind fuck. I don't know how else to say that. In terms of your self-esteem,
mindset,
in terms of how do you feel about yourself? How's my family going to feel about it? How's my spouse going to treat me if I don't have my breast? If I'm going through these surgery, if I don't feel cute, if I don't feel pretty, if I don't want to have sex, if if he's not feeling my bald head, if the fatigue of the radiation has got me feeling like I don't want you to touch me, like how is all this going to affect? It all affects your mindset and how you feel about yourself. So we want to, again, have an imaging center. First of all, we can look at ourselves and say, we got to accept our bodies, breasts on, breasts off. Some of us don't keep our breasts. Some of us have double mastectomies. And so, again, it's an acceptance of a whole new body. And so we want to have an imaging center. We can have mirrors everywhere. You can talk to yourself. You can get your hair did. You can get your makeup did. You can try on some prosthesis if you need to. Yeah. You can try on different bras that'll make you feel whole. And so very intimate space, but a very needed space for a cancer survivor. When breast cancer is more than your hair, right? It's our breasts. And so, again, a very intimate space. So we can talk about it. We can talk about having one boob or having no boobs or all of that. Again, those are very
safe space to make that happen.
Yes. And to make you feel beautiful. So we want to be able to make you up and
look at that.
Massage is so important. It's really important to anybody, right? As a way of de-stressing, massage is really key in my life. I make sure it's a weekly thing. If you can afford a weekly massage, monthly massage, bi-weekly massage, put that into your budget. Like health, wealth, and relationship. It's part of your wealth. Your health is your wealth. Massages are so important, especially for cancer patients, because we get a lot of things cut, right? So in terms of getting our bodies cut on, and they take out lymph nodes, and all of those things detach your blood flow. And so massage is a good way to kind of activate the blood and keep it flowing in the right direction. Some people get lymphedema, and so they have to be taught how to massage the arm. Have you ever seen cancer patients run around with real swollen arms?
I've seen it.
Right. Yeah. And so we give them a lymphedema sleeve, and sometimes they have to wear sleeves, a compression sleeve. But massage will help with that, and they'll teach them how to do lymphedema, so to drain it so they don't have the swelling as much, but also just keeps that blood flowing all the right directions, because there's a disconnect when you have to get lymph nodes taken out and your breast cut off and all that kind of stuff. There's blood flow disconnection. So massage is real important. So we want to have a massage room. Every room has a purpose. Workout room. You have to be able to get used to your new normal. You're not going to be the same after your treatment. You're just not. After your surgeries, you're just not. Your body's going to physically change, but your mind you're not that person anymore.
Right.
Hopefully, you're learning good habits for the second round and the last round, post-cancer, post-treatment. And so a workout room is necessary. As you get older, it's necessary. We need to continue to tone.
Eat right and move, right? You gotta have the move part.
Yoga, here's what that Tai Chi is going to be happening. The yoga that's going to be happening, those meditations, all that. We have to have space for that, right? So where we can spread out and kickbox if you opt for it. But pretty much we on that Tai Chi, that yoga level, stretching, So we got to have a room for that. So we got to have a space for that. It's going to be pink and cute. Of course, the toning piece, that's going to be all a part of it. I was just going to show how we can have pink weights. We're going to have some pink machines. We might have some multicolored machines, because I know guys are going to be like, we don't want to work out in the pink room or whatever.
We got black, right? So black way.
But because, what is 24-hour fitness? It's purple?
I think so.
Or Planet Fitness.
Everybody has a
Planet Fitness green, is purple.
Some purple.
Yeah, so pink will be okay. Y'all be all right. Yeah. It's going to be good. The back side of the room. So you come in, you're going to hit our porch. A sunroom is real important. So I grew up with old school with a sunroom and just the vitamin D of a sunroom, being able somewhere to sit in the sun. Even if you can't walk in the sun, even you can't, whatever, you can go sit on the porch, catch you some rays, have some therapy, talk to your sisters, talk to people. But just sitting in the sun and just getting some natural vitamin D is important for everybody. But we're definitely gonna have that.
I had one space. Of those down in Florida.
Yeah, a sunroom.
Yeah. I called it my McGaw's Fish Camp. So everybody, where's McGaw's Fish Camp? That was my man cave.
Your man cave.
It was a sunroom in Florida, and it was a beautiful place, and it had nothing but good feelings and a lot of good
vibes going on.
Good vibes.
Right. Good vibes. Kind of your sunroom, you kind of had this, a place where you can sit outside and grill. We want to be able to sit outside. So this is connected to the back porch, but a sitting space for just being outdoors. I'm a big on outdoors and fresh air. And so
where's the hot tub?
And don't even talk about that. It's way back over here. No, we might have to get a hot tub.
We gotta get a hot tub.
We gotta get a hot tub in there. And then again, the Zen garden. So in the back, of space to walk through, a space to pray, a space to just be by yourself, but outside amongst the leaves and the trees and the birds and the tree. All of that is very mentally helpful. So that is pretty much the.
I want to thank you for walking us through your vision, because you've thought this all the way through from the front porch to the back. and was exactly what all these rooms are for.
Yeah. It's needed. Everything has a purpose. Yeah,
Right.
it's not going to be a house, but it's a house, a one-stop shop for all of those things can happen. You don't have to go over here for your yoga class and over here for your therapy. So we'll have an in-house therapist, so you can just one-stop shop. You can come in and meet with your therapist, and you can go work out. You can meet with your therapist and go to the support group meeting later on that night, or you can go to your Tai Chi class and go to the hot tub and
I see a great ecosystem of this business ownership. A lot of entrepreneurs coming in, doing this. So it's a big partnership with Pink Lotus Project.
Somebody got to teach those classes. Somebody's got to give that information, cooking demonstrations. We're bringing in the community to one place where we can have it all.
Well, that's why we are employing right now. We're going to really go hard into making this a reality.
Yes.
Right.
Bring my vision to life.
Oh, we got to bring it to life because it's needed.
Yeah, it's needed.
It's very much so.
Absolutely needed.
Very much.
We don't have a wellness center. That's really just for cancer patients, but really I don't see them in our community. If they are, I need to know about them.
Right.
So if you are in a wellness center and you are in the community and you're bringing wellness to the community, let's partner. Because again, we can start with survivors, but again, we want to expand to the community. We start with survivors and their families, and then their families, and then that's the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you to your point, you bring it all together. There's a lot of disparate, systems, whether it's a yoga over here or massage.
Everybody's everywhere.
Here,
spread out.
And then you're riding all over the place. Transportation becomes a problem but
transportation's a problem anyway.
I got one spot. I can go to this house. That's
on Tuesdays they're doing yoga, and on Wednesdays they're doing this, and we went. Yeah, it's all going to have days of the week where you just know that's what's happening in terms of wellness. Things are happening in terms of wellness. Cooking demonstrations. We'll be continue to partner with the urban leagues of America, and we'll just have our own space to have it. So we need the space.
Well, we wanted to make sure we had this episode done because I think a lot of people in the community they just get snippets. Oh, they see the strut. Let me see the pancake feed.
Yeah.
Well, what else are they? What exactly are the programs that you're doing to help these women? If you go to the website, you got to go to the website because the website is a lot of information there.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of different partnerships that you've done. You do the parades. You always participate in a lot of the community events, especially in North Omaha.
Yeah. We got to get out to the parade. This is how we reach people. We're about outreach, and so we get out and do 400 bags. And we missed this year, but we got those bags out, y'all. We got y'all was somewhere and you got a little bag for Pink Lotus. We made sure we were just in the mix of where people are, and that's what it's all about. Just getting out into the community. Yes, I'm hoping that this did kind of give more information to like what is Pink Lotus, what do you do? This is who we are. This is
why
what
it's
we do,
important,
and where we're going, and where we're going. The vision is there. The holistic house of healing has been, we've been speaking on it. Now we need to make it happen.
Well, you showed me a very good location. I think it was up off of was that on 108? There's a beautiful house. And
it's already a big house here.
It looks just like
that my vision.
It looks just like that house. So
I heard a dentist lives there and go, 140
Yeah.
look. Y'all see that pink house for real? It's a house here already.
It's a house.
I'm hoping they leave it to us. Then we don't have to look for it because it's it's all God vision. When you see something like you vision, it's got to be.
It's going to happen. We're going after grants. We're doing a lot of philanthropy. We want to understand how we can get the funding available. Once you see the statistics tell the story. To your point, we're not getting cancer more than anyone else, but we're dying more. Let that sit with us. There's something wrong here.
There's something wrong.
And we got to make that adjustment.
And we don't, let's just start with ourselves. I'm sure it's systematic. And so we can't fix the system overnight, but we can make our own small changes overnight.
Exactly.
Right? We can all make our own baby steps to be the healthiest. So when we do have to deal with the healthcare systems, we are the healthiest vessels we can be. We know about ourselves. So nobody can pull the okey-doke over our eyes like they did back in the day, because we know ourselves and we know what we're capable of, and we know what's in our history, our family history, right? We know our lifestyles, and we know what we need to do to make good change.
And we've gone, if you look at all our shows, we've probably done over 25, close to 30 now. And they all lead back to very similar things over and over again. You got to eat right. And you got to eat right, and you got to move.
It's just those people are eat right and move. That's really what it boils down to. But that's easier said than done. So we're going to continue to feed you baby steps and ways to do that. How to do that naturally. No force fed anything right now, because really the part of the wellness plan is giving you a chance to set your own pace.
Yeah.
Right. When you go to the doctor, you say, "I this good," and he says, "Well, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what you should do." Blah 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 blah. They don't ever say, "Well, what do you think we should do about this?" And how do you think you should help me handle this? Because it's your problem.
Yeah.
But they never ask you, right? Do you ever get involved?
No.
So that conversation in the wellness center is going to be like, what are we going to do about like the hypertension right now? What are we going to do to get those levels, those numbers right?
Yeah.
And so then you have to buy into it. It ain't me
just like
giving you an assignment.
The guest we had on last week, we talked about the problem, but she had solutions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? If you can measure, you get your own monitoring going on. You can see where your numbers are.
Yeah.
And you know when the numbers are off, and you need to go ahead and take that next step. But we've got to get involved in our own personal care.
Absolutely. Sure. And that starts with a primary care. So this is a personal thing. My son just contacted me. He didn't make the show. He had a medical problem. My son is 35, male. Should I just say that? I asked my son, when's the last time you've been to the doctor? He said, kind of around COVID time. I said, get your ass to the doctor.
Right.
And to my point, he didn't have a primary care. So COVID was COVID. COVID was a whole different time, right? Yeah. COVID, people couldn't see the doctor. If you did, it was 5 months later. Even after COVID, it was people were just now getting back into the doctor. Overrun. So he's past that. He now has health insurance. So now I'm going to help him pick a primary. First things first, he needs to get into the doctor, but he needs to pick a primary care. So when I leave here, I'm going to help my son pick a primary care. And then he's going to get into the doctor. But I want him to get into having his yearly visits because 5 years, that's too long.
It's way too long.
That's too long. COVID, that was
anything can develop. A lot of these cancers and whatnot, they develop. Sometimes they can develop very quickly.
In months. So yeah, we're getting him a primary. So get a primary care. And if you don't have a primary care, contact us. We are working with Charles Drew to get everybody hooked up with a primary care person. And if you don't want to go to Charles Drew, we're like you said, me in Nebraska Medicine. You can go to UNMC, whatever is really closest to you. We'll get you hooked up with a primary care, but that's a first step to your own taking your own.
Well, just like we did, or they did. If you weren't there at Strep for the Cure, we need to give her flowers because she's been doing this for 9 years, going on 10 years in 2027. And if it wasn't for her, this is her own advocacy. No one's paying her to do this. Right? She's like, look, I see this problem. She's gone through it herself. She's lived this experience. She sees the gap. And she's been out there just with a blowhorn saying, hey, we need to eat right and move. Right?
And just a call to action, right? It's a call to action. I want people to care about us dying.
Yeah.
The impression I'm getting is nobody really cares. And so as much as I can, we are dying out here. I want it to be a call to action, call to say, look, let's do something about this. Let's do something about this statistic. Partner with me. Let's figure it out. Let's provide programs that are proactive and preventative. So we don't even have to deal with the cancer.
And pull all our clinical world together because it's a community.
It's a community.
It's not one person owns that problem.
We've all been affected by cancer, have we not? I have.
Big time.
I mean, not just me personally, but I know all my family, it's a family problem.
You run into it.
If you know somebody, you got a friend, a co-worker, somebody's had cancer.
And what I have learned from you, I just didn't know all the symptoms, what you go through as you're going through treatment, all that it's a whole process. And then when you're done with that process, the prevention, so you don't get it again. When you hear people like, I'm 29 years out, like we heard.
That's the work,
right?
And that's the work.
The work.
Because like you said, you always hear people getting a reoccurrence. Those people who probably go back to their same lifestyles. Probably is like, I got over the cold because it's not a cold. But when you get over cancer, it's a life-changing experience. It's not, you cannot go backwards. You have to only go forward. So if you get your mind right and start thinking better and start thinking, we learned a lot going through that journey, right? And so when you know better, you do better.
You do better. And it's a very good thing. I want you to leave us with your goals. How do you want to see this? If our goal is to help people live healthier, fuller lives, what do you believe about this?
Well, I think my goal is to just build a healthier community. The bottom line about my goal, even to open up the Pink Palace or the Holistic House of Healing, is to build a healthier community. Yes, I'm a breast cancer survivor, but I want you to be a prostate cancer survivor, and I want you to be a heart attack survivor like Malcolm. I want us all to survive. But in order to survive, we got to do a little bit better and living better, living more well, and getting rid of some of those things that we know that are killing us. the fast foods, the processed foods, the sedentary lifestyles, the alcohol, the overextension, bad habits, cigarettes, all of those things we know. So we got to know and we got to do better.
And this is an opportunity where we have health, wealth, and relationships, so you can get the education, get an understanding how it looks from the ground up. We're the grassroots people, right? Telling our story from where we're at. My brother had lymphoma cancer. He was a survivor of that. He unfortunately passed from something different. But just understanding what that journey is like is not for the faint of heart.
No.
So we would like to prevent that for anybody that's going through that. Prevention is a big thing. So we want to build a culture of prevention,
culture of prevention, proactivity. Just get a healthy mindset. We want people to put health as their priority because your health is your wealth. And so that should be number one. What is it? Health. Well, God, health. This should be top 3, top 4, because you can't do nothing without your health. So,
can't do anything.
So it can't be job. It can't, even family. You have to be there around for your family. So it should be God, self, and health, family.
You got to get it all.
The rest of
That's why we understand that health is that big one. Because without health, you have no wealth, and you will definitely not have any relationships.
If you ain't here, you ain't got no relationship.
No.
That's it.
No. But we'll make sure you go to the website. Tell them when to get to the website.
www.pinklotusprojectne.org is our website. You can hit us on the same Gmail, pinklotusproject.ene@gmail. Pink Lotus Project NE is all of our email website. Go to the website. It's very informative. They keep you updated on all we're doing and give you an opportunity to donate. No amount is too small.
No amount is too small. You got to do that. Remember, she has a huge following on Facebook. A lot of people follow her on Facebook. They look for her daily tips and her 3 simple tips that she does almost on a daily basis. She gets it out there. So she's living her path. She's not just talking about it. I think that's very nice.
And keep tuning in to Health, Wealth, and Relationships every Thursday, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. We will be back. So peace out. Enjoy the 4th of July.
4th of July.
250
we
years.
We already did our Juneteenth, but we'll go ahead and celebrate again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do some firecrackers.
Get some deuces to that. Right? All right.
Imagine waking up with more energy, a peaceful mind, and relationships that grow stronger every day. That is the vision Tisa Harden and Grant McGaw want to help you achieve, and it all starts with simple, practical steps you can take this week. On Health, Wealth, and Relationships, every episode brings you real stories and trusted experts. Tisa and Grant focus on 3 tactical steps each week. Small, doable moves that protect your health, grow your savings, and bring you closer to the people you love. No complicated rules, just real progress. Try a clinic-to-kitchen swap to boost your energy. Start a money buffer habit that quietly builds your financial confidence. Or try a 1-minute exercise that helps you reconnect with your partner. These quick wins are not chores. They are steps toward a better life. People who try just one intentional step report more energy, less money stress, and evenings full of laughter again. Join Tisa and Grant. Start small. Live bigger. Tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.